Hey everybody, Josie here, and on this video I'm going to be talking about the newest adaptation the newest adaptation to a Stephen King novel, and that is, of course, The Dark Tower. Now, The Dark Tower is a movie based on the series of books or novels by, like I mentioned, by Stephen King, and I haven't read any of them. However, the Dark Tower is a series that is in my radar and something that I have been interested in reading in the past. Just haven't gotten around to actually doing it. As people who know me pretty much know that I have a tendency to be interested in a lot of things and just not actually uh, pursuing them or trying to or doing it. But it's something that I will do eventually, or at least I tell myself. But yeah, this movie. It's basically your simple story of good versus evil. You have your this dark tower, or yeah, this tower, which from what I gather in the movie, they tell you they explain it pretty well. It's basically this thing that keeps that protects the universe, kind of, and there's like separate Earths or parallel universes, sort of thing. That I don't know. It's a little bit convoluted, and honestly, a lot of it didn't make sense. It could have been either. I think they explained it, but it's a little difficult to grasp. From what I understand, it was there's parallel Earths and all this and different worlds, and they're all protected by this tower, and that keeps the monsters at bay, so to speak. And you got the Dark Man, or Walter, played by Matthew McConaughey, who's basically trying to destroy the tower to unleash this hell or these demons to come and invade these various Earths. And you got Idris Elba, who plays the gunslinger, who is I believe he's the last of the gunslingers. And gunslingers are basically like Jedi's. In fact, if you watch the trailer for the first trailer for the Dark Tower, and how he explains the what gunslingers are, and he talks about how they're the good versus evil sort of thing. He's basically describing what Obi-Wan said in the New Hope about what the Jedi are. So if you need a reference point, just imagine they're the Jedi, and um, the Man in Black is I guess, the Sith Lord, so to speak. So in my mind, that's how I envisioned them, and it made things a little bit clearer. Of course, there's more to it, but that's how I imagine things. Uh, so yeah, there's basically that, and then you got this boy who comes from our Earth, who has the shine, which, if you've seen The Shining, is basically this telepathic sort of thing. Uh, in fact, I was told about it before I saw the movie by my cousin. He mentioned how this kid is supposed to be some other kid or whatever who has the shine. Or I think he said it was the kid from The Shining or something like that. So with that in my mind, I kind of it all makes sense. So he has this power, and that's why they want him, or something like that. Like I said, they explained it well. It's just this thing. It's very it's hard for me to understand. It's not because the movie doesn't explain it. It's just I think there's so much lore that can't be put in this movie alone. And all I gotta say about the Dark Tower, it's a decent movie. It's shot very well. It's edited well as well. It's edited good. There's no problem with the editing at all. The action scenes, they're legible. You can see what's happening, and there's some pretty creative stuff with his gun slinging, which I thought was really cool. And I really loved Matthew McConaughey uh, as uh, as Walter. I think he was brilliant. He's probably the best part of this movie. Idris Elba, I liked as well. I thought he was great. And this kid, I'm gonna get his name just because I think it's important. I can't find his name. But this kid, I think he did a great job. Just because I'm not a big fan of kid actors. I'm very critical about kid actors, and I think this guy pulled it off brilliantly. Especially in the beginning. You could tell he hasn't slept in like days because he's having these visions and whatnot. But yeah, the main problem with this movie, it's just that it feels kind of generic, which it doesn't necessarily mean bad, because you got your movies that are bad, you got your generic movies, and then you got your good movies. This one's a generic, something that you could skip. Is not going to be a big deal. which is kind of unfortunate just because I feel like there's so much lore there that wasn't explored. I mean, because this movie's only like an hour and 30 minutes, and honestly, I felt like it was over really quick, which is both a good thing and a bad thing. It's good because they don't drag things on, they don't drag things out, and you get a definitive ending by the end of this movie. You got the guy with his mission. He goes on to do the mission. He completes it. Movie over. Uh, but they also set up enough where you can get a sequel, and there you see different potential for new storylines. Whether or not they will get a sequel, that remains to be seen. But this movie is open ended in a way, because it has a definitive ending, and it could be a standalone, and that's fine. But there is enough there to continue the story, and I think that's pretty cool. But like I said, that's the main crutch, is that it's over really quick, and you feel like this universe that they've established, you feel like they barely dipped their toe in this on the surface, and you feel like there's so much more to be explored. And this was just very plain and bare bones. Is pretty much the only definition I could have for this movie. It's a bare bones action movie. It's enjoyable. I think it's fun. I didn't hate it. I was satisfied with what I got, and yeah, I do feel maybe fans of the novel might feel upset because, like I said, it is very bare bones, and I think fans of like movie adaptations of books, they always get mad that stuff gets left behind, and I feel like this might be one of those things where so much got left behind just because, like I said, an hour and 30 minutes for a book series. I think I read somewhere that they're planning on making this a TV show after this, and maybe a few more movies. And honestly, if they do a TV show, I think that'd be perfect for this franchise. If they make another movie, I think they need to shoot big because even though there's nothing wrong with the way it's shot or the editing, it does feel very much like a studio movie. Like there is no style to this movie at all. Like I don't even know who directed this movie. It could have just been any random person, because it just feels like the producers and the studio directed this movie. And it's not bad, because it could have been so much worse. And what you get, you are entertained enough. And yeah, I think that's it. That's all I have to say about this movie. Uh, if you I wouldn't recommend it. I think there's other stuff to see if you have to see it. If you have to see a movie and you've already seen everything else, then I think you won't be completely disappointed. Just watch it at like during a matinee time or something like that, or if you could go to like a cheaper theater, I think you'll be fine. Anyways, that's about it for the Dark Tower. Let me know what you guys think, and if you guys think that this deserves a franchise, or if you would like to see a TV show and all that stuff. And like, comment, subscribe, and thank you guys for watching. Bye.